Today we're going to check out the Route 66 Auto Museum in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. And we're going to find out if it's worth your time and money to go. Now, a couple of things I want to get out of the way. First of all, they were kind enough to let me film in here. So, of course, to keep this short and to be fair to them, I'm not going to show you the entire collection and everything else that they have in here, but this will give you a good taste of what's there. I think you'll enjoy it, and most of all, find out if it's the place for you to stop. Let's go. Memorabilia, 30 cars, $5 admission. Let's see what we end up with. The Nacho Men were here. I assume there was an ashtray on that at one time. 1950 Mercury engine. '56 Buick 322. I'm not even familiar with the 322. Back when you had to actually know something to be a mechanic. This is called a telephone booth, kiddies. This is a really, really tall. This is about 6 foot. This is a really tall gas pump. Little hodgepodge, but they have a nice collection of items from this time period. Road map machine. I can barely remember these still being around when I was a kid back in the 1970s. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Jeff Gordon. That is a real Dr. Pepper sign. Your Bank America card is welcome here. Old refrigerators, which old garages would get these old refrigerators and use them for storage. My father did that. That is a really, really interesting color. And of course you had to cruise in the old Camaro back in the day. Now we're getting into more of my speed. And of course you have to have a period Chevy. '63 Vet with a 327. Another Vet, roughly 68. '29 Mercedes Gazelle kit car. Probably built on a Cadillac frame from the 80s. Has a nice look to it. '31 Auburn. Look at the size of those headlights. For sale, $45,000. Includes a service manual. Have to have a Plymouth Roadrunner. This one has a 440. Had an uncle that had one of these, pretty close to this one. That's when you've done your body work and you can't afford the paint job. Or it's a work truck and you just didn't need to paint it. The green wheels are an interesting choice and not one I would make for this yellow car. But to each their own. When a Mustang from this era becomes a classic, I have officially gotten old. Sometimes you have to just like the real look of the way these things were. People owned them and drove them in that era toward the end of their lifespan. Flip up seats in the back. That probably seated about 8 people. Another pretty stock truck. The way people would have used them and remembered them looking. Basic transportation, Chevy 2. I'm sorry, Nova. Red on red. On red, on red, on red. And a real land yacht. Interesting chrome. If you were a pedestrian and stepped out in front of one of these, you did not stand a chance. Not the Roadrunner convertible, even though it's nice. Let's go with Au Naturel. When a station wagon was a piece of art. And families actually went on vacation and often camped out in this. For a $5 admission, this is really hard to beat, especially if you're doing Route 66 in the summer. You just need to find some air conditioning, spend an hour, cool off, have a snack. I think you'll enjoy yourself here.